If consistency or lack thereof is your problem, then today's episode is 100% for you because it may be even more of a problem than you think. Welcome back to another episode of the Upgrade My Rituals podcast. My name is Kevin McKella, the host, and this is the show for stressed out overachievers who are looking to design their ideal day. So instead of being stressed and completely overwhelmed by all the different projects and goals and domains they want to work on in their life and trying to instill all these different type of habits, what we do is we take a look at your 24 hours and design the best possible day we can revolved around specific routines throughout the day. And ultimately, when your head hits the pillow at the end of the night, you feel really, really good about what you've actually accomplished that day and where your life is actually headed. So if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. And of course, hit the like button if you like it and the bell notification so you can be notified every time a episode goes live. And if you are returning, well then, thank you so much. So today is a little bit of a story I want to let you in on, and we're going to talk about consistency or a lack of consistency, whether it be around your daily routines, your ritual design, or something specific in your life. Maybe it's the lack of consistency around that instrument that you really wanted to learn, or around your diet, or your whatever insert thing that you'd like to do here. And the reason why I want to tell you this story is because I've learned a valuable lesson, and I've learned that consistency or being consistent or not being consistent is so sneaky, both in the positive and the negative. Story time. Last summer, so it was last August, 2021, we had a party here at my house. It was a fairly big party. It was my mother's celebration of life party, and we had quite a bit of people here. We had the whole thing catered, and of course, every time we have a party, I always buy way more alcohol than I should. I always overcompensate because that's like my worst fear of like running out of alcohol. So, sure enough, at the end of the party, everybody had a really good time, and there was a whole bunch of beer left. And I mean an entire refrigerator full. I know this because we have a second refrigerator downstairs in the basement, and the whole thing was stocked. I mean, it was scary. And, I didn't really set an intention of drinking it or not drinking it, but I'm talking about the whole thing. And when I mean the whole thing, I mean at least 50 beers. I mean, at least. And what happened was, summertime, August, every once in a while I would just grab a beer, and it wasn't like anything specific or random. It was just like on a Tuesday night. Yeah, I'll have a beer with dinner. Why not? It was grilling or whatever. And then Thursday night, I have 2 beers. Whatever. We've got a whole fridge, so like it's just, it is what it is. And then a couple months started going by, and I noticed something very interesting. I noticed that my fridge was getting less and less full of beer. I was actually making a dent. And sure enough, a few months later, all the beer was gone. I mean, everyone, and I don't really drink a lot at all. And if I'm ever really going to drink, it's going to be wine with dinner. Like that's kind of my drink of choice, that or whiskey. And I realized I drank every single beer. And what's really, really crazy is the random consistency of just having a beer here or there with dinner. It was hot out, it was refreshing. So like, yeah, I'll take a beer here and there. And that consistency that I did not plan for was a tremendous eye-opening experience because I drank an entire refrigerator worth of beer that I would have never drank if it wasn't in my house. And I started thinking, wow, okay, that is just talk about environment design or lack thereof. That is just a real problem. And I started thinking, what else in my life am I doing consistently, just randomly here or there, just one beer here, two beers here? What else am I doing that is having an extreme negative impact? And I'm still reflecting on that, but I also think about some of the things that I have done that are a positive, consistent impact. For instance, part of my morning routine is a stretching routine, and I stretch, and I've been doing this type of stretching for probably about, I want to say around 7 years now. I've been doing this for about 7 years. It's a combination of some primal movements, some stretching from my brass playing days, and I've been doing this, like I said, for quite some time. And I have to say my flexibility and my mobility is very, very agile. I'm pretty flexible, and I never used to be. I was always very inflexible. And just by doing that every single day, and that was my whole intention and that's why I set a morning routine, but that specifically is why I did that, because I knew if I were going to do it in my morning routine or in any routine for that matter, I would be very consistent with it. And sure enough, that's a tremendous payoff. Another one, and it happens to be also in my morning routine, is my breathing. I have always practiced breathing exercises because of my brass playing and my music making days. So I've been doing deep breathing exercises for well over a decade, going on 2 now. And I still do them to this day. They're not as focused for music making or brass playing, but it's more all-encompassing to do a few different things for more of a meditative state. Obviously, still making sure I'm moving as much air in and out as possible, but I'm focusing on getting my mind right and as well as oxygenating my body. But doing that over the years has done something for me very positive, and that has what I believe has a huge impact on my asthma. I used to have asthma to the point where I would always have to leave the house with an inhaler. When I was in high school and early college was my worst point. Granted, all the other unhealthy things I was doing in my body, the garbage food, the inflammation I was causing, that wasn't helping. But I would have really, really bad asthma. And over the years of doing really, really deep breathing, and I think in combination with simply outgrowing it, because I know when somebody has severe asthma like my mom did, you can't just do breathing exercises and it fixes it. But it 100% can help. And I still do breathing exercises every single morning to this day. And I think that consistency has been had a tremendous impact positively. But I tell you this random story because I think when it comes down to the root of what we talk on this show and the root of what I want to get across to you, it is, again, boiling down to this phrase that I say all the time, is that we are a byproduct of the rituals that we execute. And it's really true. Like, we are a reflection of what we do or don't do consistently throughout time. So the real question here is, what are the things that you do that you're kind of half-assing, that you want to see results in? Because let's face it, we all have things that we are kind of doing, but not really consistently, right? So we're not really showing any type of progress. For instance, I have been kind of half-assing my diet. I have been very, very consistent, very strict with my workouts and my gym execution, but my diet has been pretty half-assed, right? Like, I would focus my main meals around some healthy choices, but then I'd go on a binge on the weekend, and I just eat like crap for literally multiple days, if not just 1, 2 or 3, and that really cuts into all the progress I was making during the week. So what's interesting is that I got very strict about 3 weeks ago, and I started the keto diet. And, I've always been rooted in kind of keto and primal philosophies, and I'd eat most of that. But what I've learned throughout doing more research is that you actually can't really do the keto unless you're 100% committed. 99% is not going to cut it, because you're not going to get into ketosis if you eat over 20 grams of carbs. And you're not going to get those type of really specific benefits. But I can tell you that extra 1%, 99 to 100, the consistency has paid off tremendously. Within 3 weeks, actually really about 2, I have had so many random little pains throughout my body disappear. And that tells me that was caused by inflammation. And that's incredible. So these little things revolved around consistency. I want you to walk away today, and I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Actually 3. What are the things that I am consistently not doing that I should be? Number 2, what are the things that I am consistently doing that I should be proud of? Celebrate the things that you do really, really well. And then 3, what are the things that I am consistently half-assing? Because that's some of the questions that maybe we have to put more in the bucket of complete consistency. And I really had this revelation when I looked at that empty fridge, and I looked at myself and I said, wow, that's a problem. So I hope this little conversation has helped you open your eyes a little bit. I hoped it can get you thinking about your execution, not just your ritual design, but all the little things throughout your life that you may want to focus on. So if you like this episode today, please hit the like button and leave a comment. And I want to hear what consistency or lack thereof that's happening in your life. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified, and of course, subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you next week here on the Upgrade My Rituals podcast.